Hey guys, Nishquik here, and welcome back to another episode of Nishquik Talks, and probably the last episode of Nishquik Talks for the year 2024. This is gonna be like my Nishquik Pops 2024 year in review video. And actually, I don't know if you guys can see, but I have a special guest here. You can probably see her head over here. Let me move the camera down. Here she is. Nora, you want to say hello? I think she's camera shy. Anyways, this video is sort of gonna be like the video I made last year in December, where I talk about some of my favorite videos that I put out, some of my favorite memories, some of the things I learned, give some content creator shout outs as well, and give some hints into the future of the Nishquik Pops channel as well. And one thing that I want to tell you guys is this video, I might have put out a community post about this, but this video you're watching right now is going to end with a really awesome surprise. This surprise has been in the works for quite some time now, and I wanted to reveal it in this particular video, and it's going to be very important for the future of this channel, and I'll talk about that a little later. But anyways, I first of all want to thank each and every single one of you for all the support this year. And one big thing that I haven't really mentioned on the channel yet is we hit 2,000 subscribers. And that's so awesome and mind-blowing to me. I'm so happy that 2,000 of you guys hit that subscribe button. Like, I know it's just mind-blowing to someone like me who, like, I can't believe, like, I started off this channel in early 2021 just as like kind of a hobby, and it didn't really pick up until actually last year. So to see like a lot of my effort actually pay off is really quite gratifying. Another thing relating to that is I have been seeing a lot of frequent commenters on the channel, some familiar faces, some familiar usernames, and I just want to like tell you guys thank you. Like, I see you guys, I recognize you guys, I read all the comments, and I love interacting with you guys. One thing I've noticed is it's no secret that I am younger compared to other like video game content creators. I am like in my mid-20s. That's not like very young, but compared to like other content creators who were like around like gaming during the 80s and 90s, I'm much more on the younger side. And there are some people who are like, oh, you should have been around for this, or you don't get it because you weren't around for this. That's something that I really appreciate about the channel, and that is the fact that I am seeing these games, a lot of retro games and classic games, from a different lens, and maybe the people my age are also getting that different viewpoint as well. And to everyone who is commenting and supporting in every single way, thank you so much. A few people I want to give a shout out to, a very special shout out to, are my channel members. And you guys probably see their names at the end of every single video. And I wanted to give you guys a very special shout out because your constant support every month means so much to me. And I just wanted to give you guys a very special shout out because, of course, I love seeing the comments that you guys make on the videos, and especially to the Aegis tier members. I've sometimes asked you guys for input on some of the content and what to make, and hearing your input in that way and support in that way really means a lot to me. So I really, really appreciate that. You guys don't, like, it of course does not go unnoticed, but I really want you guys to know that the support is invaluable, and I am really thankful that I just never realized that people would go out of their way to support me like that. So I really, really appreciate it. Okay, so now I want to talk really quick about some games that impacted me the most, because like many of my viewers may not know this. Like some of my friends know, some of my family members know, and a lot of like people in like my Discord friend groups know that this year was a like really challenging year for me in many ways. Like especially like the very beginning of the year, and like I would say like September onwards, like the last quarter of this year was an absolute high. But the early part of the year was very difficult for me. Like I just came out of school and I was unemployed for a very long time, and I was still actively looking for a job. And with the industry and work that I look for, it was very, very, very tough to find something. Throughout this year especially, it was a very, very grueling, very difficult year to find the work that I'm looking for. But I made the best of it. I really spent a lot of time in this channel, made a lot of connections outside of YouTube as well. So all in all, I was very busy this year, but it was very exhausting, stressful, and draining. And if certain video games weren't present for me this year would have been even more tough. I wholeheartedly have to say, because some of these video games specifically made me look outside of my stresses and tribulations and realize all the good things that are still in my life, and like that, oh, this is still here, I should really cherish it, I should really like love this aspect of my life. Like I'll give you guys some examples, like Persona 3 Reload. That game really made me remember how like great a lot of my friendships in life are, especially when I finished that game. Like if you guys know Persona 3 Reload, you guys know what happens at the end. I'm not going to tell you what happens. If you haven't played it, or if you haven't played any of Persona 3, like any of the versions, play whichever version. Reload, I will recommend Reload, but the ending made me like just be like, I really love all of my friends who I have in this world. And it was a very emotional experience. And especially during that really tough time in my life where I either felt lost or lonely, I remembered all the great connections I had. And Persona 3 Reload, throughout the game, throughout the entirety of the game, especially that ending, really made me remember that. And even Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, throughout the chaos and silliness and problems I might have had, or many of us might have had with that game, I remembered a lot of the very difficult times I had with either friends or loved ones, and how we came out the other side as better people. And I also remembered how many times when I was going through even tougher times in my life, like how Cloud is experiencing very turbulent, very confusing things in his life within Rebirth, and even in the original game. And I remembered how that not necessarily mirrored my experiences, but how I came out the other side versus how Cloud came out the other side. And just, it was almost like a comforting kind of inspiration to me. I was like, if Cloud can do it, I can do it. And I know that sounds so silly, but that's one of the main reasons why I love video games so much, is I can see myself in a lot of these games. I can see myself in a lot of these characters. And like, I'll get to Xenogears in a bit, but another game that really impacted me was Final Fantasy IX. And I realized how each of these characters has a different kind of outlook on their life, their purpose, their existence. That's also just something I think about in general. Where am I going to be in the next like 20, 30 years? What am I going to be doing? What impact, what legacy am I going to have in this life and this world or whatever? And Final Fantasy IX, with its characters, with its arcs, with its character development, even with those title cards in the very beginning of the game, which I sort of acted out in my review, it kind of gives you an insight on how those characters are feeling in that moment and what kind of struggles they're experiencing. And Xenogears as well. Xenogears had like sort of like a Final Fantasy VII and Remake and Rebirth kind of impact on me because of internal struggles of the past, the present, all that stuff. Definitely not as crazy as Faye experiences it, but the one thing that I will always remember from Xenogears, there's many other things that I will personally remember from Xenogears, but one thing that I want to share right now is, especially this year, there are many times where I would say to myself, why does it have to be like this? Why do things have to be this way? Why am I going through this? Why can't it be another way? Why can't things play out differently? And that was Faye at the very beginning of the game. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, whoa. Like when Faye is being like interrogated by Ellie in the beginning, she's like, why are you like acting like this? Why are you blaming yourself? Why are you being so self-deprecating? And I was just like, whoa, it's almost like the writers are like screaming at me. And then at the end of the game, again, no spoilers or anything, but Faye realizes and learns that there are many things that happen in his life, both good or bad or crazy or whatever, but it is his choice to take responsibility and change those things and change things for the better. And I mean, you guys should play the game to see what he ends up doing about that. But anyways, that's like something really impactful that I took away from Xenogears. And I just wanted to share that with you guys because this year specifically, like, started off turbulent, middle of the year, things were looking up, and the end of the year was phenomenal. I met some new people, I started a new job, I started to do many different things in my life, very positive things. The channel was doing very well as well. So there was like very good things happening in my life, and it's because, of course, one thing is like I took those lessons and those inspirations from those video games and applied them to my real life, but it was also beyond that as well. And what I want this channel to be is about me sharing my video game experiences, and that's what I've done with a lot of the videos I made this year, whether it be about Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy IX, just live streaming with you guys and talking about what's going on in like my life in terms of video games and stuff. And I want to keep that going. This is a community we're building, and I want to like share the ways video games have really resonated and impacted me the most. I want to talk about some things I really enjoyed doing this year in relation to the channel. This year, at the very beginning of January, I started Nishquik Talks, is what I'm doing right now, and it was sort of a way where I wanted to kind of do unscripted videos like this and talk to you guys face to face. So I realized that what I want to do with this is I want to keep the on-camera videos as Nishquik Talks, and then everything else is just like a review, analysis, whatever. Like I might talk about some video game news if it comes out or whatever, things like that. And I think it's going pretty well. A lot of these Nishquik Talks just happen on a whim. I just like remember something and I'm like, hey, I want to like talk about that, but like I don't know if I want to like have a full-on conversation with my friends about it, but it would be perfect for a video. So like that was what spurred on some of like the really good ones, like the Square Enix video. I'm really proud of that one. Switch 2 backwards compatibility one, that was also a lot of fun to make. These just kind of are very spontaneous, and I want to continue that kind of face-to-face kind of interaction with you guys, and I'm glad that sort of is taking off as well. One thing that I did start this year is I opened up a Discord server, which was very interesting because I've never like moderated like a server before. I haven't like had ownership of it before. So I was very nervous actually. I was like, oh my God, what if I have to like deal with like people being weird and like all over the place and like rude and like breaking the rules and all that. So I really held it off, but I want to give a shout out to my buddy Blood Aura. I don't know if he's watching this video, but shout outs to you for helping me throughout the year with setting it up and making sure it's all good and establishing the rules and establishing the moderation stuff. It's been great, and I think we built up a pretty decent community on there. I know I've had issues with the link expiring. Hopefully the link in the description right now is still active, so if you guys want to join the server, just chill out, talk about anything Nintendo, JRPGs, video games, PlayStation, PC, anything like that, join in the description. We'd love to have you. It's not like super active, but we're active on the occasion. We like to talk to each other on there. It's a fun time. So I have done a lot of live streaming on the channel, like most notably Xenoblade Chronicles X. I did a little bit of Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is very fun to do as well. Like I think I'm going to do a lot more Xenoblade X next year as well with Definitive Edition. But one thing I've really doubled down on this year are long-form scripted videos. Those have been pretty successful in terms of viewership, support. You guys seem to like them as well, which is great to see, great to hear. And I also like that I can give my awesome channel members that as a little bit of a treat, as like a kind of a few days in advance. You can get those videos and you can get them first. So yeah, one thing I want to say that was I wouldn't say it was a dream of mine, but it was like a goal I wanted to do. And it was always in the back of my head. And to my friend Kevin, he might not even know this, but so basically, you guys know, Kevin and I do this thing called the Conduit Cast. Conduit Cast, it's like an entirely separate channel, entirely dedicated to Xenoblade, where we do like podcast discussions about Xenoblade Chronicles. And in my mind, I was always like, what if we did this? What if we did something like this? And I always like wanted to do it with Kevin. So I'm glad it just kind of spontaneously happened, because the way I had like thought of initially Conduit Cast in my head was after hearing other franchise-specific podcasts, and most notably Emblem support podcasts by Ordo and Cardwiz. Check them out. They're also very great on Spotify. Very awesome Fire Emblem podcast. And then last year was Zeldudes. Of course, the goats, Zeltic and Zelda Master, who started their own Zelda podcast. But Kevin's inspiration came from when we both started to like listen more to Resonant Arc, Mike and Kaysen. I just want to say, like, Resonant Arc is some of our favorite like video game content on YouTube. So both me and Kevin really love Mike and Kaysen's content, but we always just find it a little sad whenever they talk down on Xenoblade 2, which, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, anyone can have their own opinions. But then we were like, hey, what if we had a podcast where we just talk about Xenoblade 2 and Xenoblade 1 and all the Xenoblade games? Because it kind of stemmed from that. Because this was even before I played Xenogears and listened to their podcast, but we were like, hey, what if we do something like them, but all Xenoblade? And that's where it started. And we're doing good. I like what we're doing. We had 5 episodes this year. It was Xenoblade Movie Cast, the epic lore discussion with Jake from Dumb Xeno, Xenoblade 2 Definitive Edition with Yggdrasil, the meaning of each Xenoblade Chronicles game with no guest, and I don't know if it's going to be out around the time of this, but we recorded a video on the Xenoblade hot takes that we in the community have. So that was also a fun one. So 5 episodes this year. We did a really good job, and like, shout out to Kevin. Like, it's been fun like doing this as like a additional YouTube side project. It's been great to like just talk about Xenoblade more. Another great accomplishment I'm really proud of this year in 2024. So I think I will talk about some of the plans I have for next year. So here are some of the videos I want to make. Like, I'm now a lot more busier with my work schedule, and that's good. but I will also be spacing out longer, more scripted videos throughout the year a little more. I'll be spending a little more time on them. So in between, I might do like quicker videos like top 10 lists, because I've always wanted to do those. And they're just fun to kind of like rank some things and like rank my favorite characters or rank my favorite games in a series or on a system. Another thing that I want to do more is do more collaborations with other content creators. Like some people I'll be talking about soon do a lot of collaborations on their channel. They get a whole bunch of other like RPG or Nintendo channels on their channel to like discuss their favorite games or characters or like have like a certain theme on it. And I've been a part of a lot of these collabs, like on channels like Mad Kaiser, Cozy Veggie, Upper Nimbus. I really enjoy doing those collabs. They're a lot of fun, but I've never done them on my channel. And I've kind of grown my content creator friendship circle and network as well. So it'll be fun to have some awesome people on my channel to discuss these kinds of things. I want to try to live stream more. Maybe I don't know if I want to set this goal, but maybe at least twice a month, if not more or less. At least. We'll see how that goes. I want to try to kind of hit that sort of goal because it's a nice way to like chip away at the backlog, chat with the viewers and the audience, and it's just a fun thing to do. It's just fun to play games and discuss with you guys about anything in general. One thing I might want to do, I'm not really good at this, so this is going to be a little difficult. I've been trying, especially with my reaction live streams, like the Nintendo Direct reaction live streams. I want to try just chatting streams. One of my buddies, GK, does them so perfectly, and it just seems like a very difficult thing. Like GK is one who is like maybe around like my size of a channel who does it very well, but like the ultimate inspiration for like an RPG just chatting channel is like a Night Sky Prince or something like that. But like, I don't know, I might dabble in that kind of content as well. We'll see. I might want to grow the audience a bit more before I do something like that, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. What else? Oh, another thing relating to live streaming, I might want to revive my Twitch channel. If you guys are incredibly long-time veterans of the Nishquik Pops channel, like late 2021, that's when I started initially streaming, and I did it on Twitch. I would stream games like Ocarina of Time, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Final Fantasy VII, Elden Ring, Demon Souls. Like I would just stream Bloodborne. I would stream like whatever I wanted. And then I realized, like, I was like, I don't feel like doing this much anymore. And I was actually kind of close to affiliate, but I just never hit it. And then I just kind of gave up. And then I grew the YouTube channel so much. And then I just started streaming on here because I had the audience on here. But I'm considering doing simultaneous streamings, just seeing how that works and like seeing how you guys feel about it, and maybe even growing an audience on there. Just trying out new things. We'll see how it works. So just letting you guys know that. So those are my plans for next year. Now I want to shout out some content creators. Like every time I do like a celebratory video, like I did it for my 1,000 subscriber thank you video. I did it for my 2023 end of the year video, and I'm doing it now as like a 2,000 subscribers and 2024 year in review kind of thing. I want to shout out some content creators that have either like been like impactful, influential, and like really great to talk to this year and have like really had a strong impact on me this year, but also who I've noticed as inspiring content creators. Even if I don't shout you out, and if we've talked, like I know that you have had a very positive and great impact on me this year, whether if it's like just chatting on Discord, just chatting on VC, collaborating on YouTube videos in whatever way. I appreciate everything that you guys have done for me and for the channel and for everything. So yeah, let's do this. So I'm gonna start off with this guy because I see this guy in every single one of my comment sections. Very, very supportive, very great stand-up, awesome dude. Very passionate about his channel and the videos that he makes and the content that he puts out. Very friendly dude. I got to talk more with him, like on collaborations and in podcasts and on VC a few times. But my buddy Upper Nimbus, the Aussie from down under, who also loves Nintendo and JRPG stuff, really, really great guy. And of course, I've seen him in comments of lots of my videos, especially like starting from last summer. His support does not go unnoticed, and I really appreciate the support, your friendship, and I'm looking forward to more like discussions and collaborations and just talks in the future. So thank you so much. Check out his channel down below. Very awesome, very passionate guy who does a lot of awesome collaborations and just general Nintendo and RPG content on his channel. Next person I want to talk about is Eric Ladd, because Eric Ladd was sort of like an inspiration to me. Like last year and this year, when I was like initially, like it's not that I fell off Final Fantasy, but I didn't really, like, that series didn't just really click with me initially and immediately. But then when I watched more of his videos, and especially like his modding videos about like Suna mods for FF7, Moguri mod for FF9, and how his experience was elevated through those, and then how his videos this year were very Final Fantasy centric. And that was very great because me getting into the series, playing more of these games, understanding their magic, their relevance, and hearing it from like a veteran fan like Eric Ladd was amazing. And also what I love a lot about Eric Ladd's channel is he's a musician, and music is also like another passion of mine I don't talk about much. I have a guitar there, I have a guitar there. I play very casually. Eric Ladd plays professionally. He's an amazing musician. He has like a lot of work on Spotify as well. You should check him out there. But I love how he adds his own kind of discussion and analysis in terms of like musicality and music and soundtracks to video games and things like that. So shout outs to you, Eric Ladd. You've been a great inspiration to me, and it's been great chatting with you on in the comment section and on Discord as well. So shout outs to you, man. Another person I want to shout out is Paige, the Fem Trooper. I had seen like a few Fem Trooper videos on and off throughout like 2023 and early 2024, but then I remember this specifically. It was on Eric Ladd's channel. It was on his like long-form turn-based podcast. He had Paige on as a guest, and hearing her experiences and talking about Earthbound and how she's gaming and still continuing this YouTube channel as a mother as well. Very inspirational, very awesome to hear that. And I really love how just chill and down to her earth her videos are. Also, she's just a very supportive person in general. I love to see her in the comments section, and I love how she's very supportive of our JRPG and gaming community that we've cultivated throughout the years and throughout the many months that we've been grinding out here on YouTube. So shout outs to you, Paige from Fem Trooper, another fellow Canadian. Even though I don't live in Canada anymore, my heart is still in Canada, and maple syrup still runs through my veins. Anyways, who else do I have here? Oh yeah, Limitless. I want to shout out my buddy Limitless, because I don't remember exactly how I found Limitless's channel. I think it was through one of his like Persona videos early in the year. And he was like, I don't know, like 200, 300, 400 subs. And I immediately saw the passion, the quality of the content, and I subscribed. I'm like, I remember when I was in that position last year, so I want to see how this guy grows throughout the years. And boy, did he like really grow. Starting off like less than 1,000 subscribers at the very beginning of the year, and now ending the year close to 2,000 subscribers. I have never seen like a growth this like much in the JRPG community. Like, you guys should check out his Final Fantasy 16 review. Very, very good, and it's doing so well. And seeing that as a smaller channel, like along the size of mine, is incredibly inspirational. So shout outs to you, man. You do very amazing stuff, and keep up the good work. Botox Games. I have realized that in the realm of Nintendo speculation content, I still watch it a lot, but I really gravitated to Bo's channel quite a bit because of his holistic approach to a lot of this stuff. He really understands what's going on outside the realm of Nintendo, and not only that, but he's very, very blunt and honest about how he feels about something. If a rumor is kind of fishy, if a leak doesn't look right, if he's very honest, and I really humbly respect that. And not only that, but he's very logical in his approach to a lot of this stuff, because this year has been a little crazy for Nintendo, and a lot of us have been grasping at straws, grasping at anything because of the drought. But hearing Bo's a little more like a logical approach to things has kept things kind of more legit, and I appreciate it. Also, it's been awesome seeing the rise of his second channel, It's Amiibo. First of all, amazingly genius name. Like, there was one day where I just sat down and thought of how perfect that name is, how it incorporates his name, Amiibo, and the Mario, like, It's a Me. Like, that's one of the most genius channel names I've ever seen ever. And yeah, aside from that, I love seeing him talk about other games, like on PlayStation, like Square Enix, all these games, like what he's collecting, what he's doing outside of Nintendo on It's Amiibo. So definitely check him out on both of those channels. Big shout outs to you, Bo. Also a channel member. I appreciate the support, man. Thank you so much, and keep up the awesome work. JVGM is my buddy Septic. He was on an episode of the EXP podcast. Really awesome dude, really genuine guy. Really likes to hype up a lot of big announcements coming. And I want to specifically shout out JVGM because I remember, like, if you guys may not know this, but believe it or not, last year, exactly a year back, people were very lukewarm on this amazing, currently highly acclaimed video game, Metaphor ReFantazio. People were like, oh, Metaphor, oh, what? What? Never heard of it, what? Oh, that game? Oh, never mind, I'll just, Persona 3 Reload's coming out. I don't care about the new thing. No, just whatever. People were so lukewarm on Metaphor. Me and Septic, JVGM, were like, dude, what's going on, man? This is new. This is Atlas. This is Project ReFantasy. And we were like hyping it up. We were watching every single trailer. We were doing some like speculation and stuff. So I knew, like, with that big like first Atlas presentation, I was like, I need him on the channel to talk about this, because like we are this game's like biggest fans. And then of course I found like other people who were hyped about it as well. Then of course the demo happened, and everyone in like the JRPG community finally got on board with Metaphor. But I like to say jokingly that me and Septic were the OG Metaphor fans. So shout outs to him. I'll have his stuff in the description below as well. I want to shout out, one person is Ontos. I want to shout out Ontos because I need to I need to be in the right mood to watch an Ontos video, because I always come out the other side either like emotionally broken or like a changed man. And it's because, like, judging by the name, yes, Ontos, he talks a lot about Xenoblade and the Xeno series. but I like to say this, and Antos, if you're watching this, listen to this carefully. You make videos that I aspire to make, but I will probably never make in my life because of the emotional impact that goes into it, but also the research and the psychology that you use to back up a lot of these character dynamics, these character motivations, these storytelling things. It's something I want to try to do more on the channel, but it's never going to be as good as you. And he, of course, doesn't only cover Xenoblade, he's also a huge From Software fan, general Nintendo fan. If you like video game stories, if you like the way Xeno does a lot of its storytelling, especially in terms of the themes present in Xeno, like the psychology and the psychoanalysis going into a lot of the Xeno series, especially Xenogears and Xenosaga, definitely give Antos a watch. He is a very, very, very good channel. The way he scripts out his videos, edits, and produces them, very, very high quality. Yeah, shout outs to you. This guy always says that he wants to go against the algorithm. He wants to go against the whole content creator loop, and he is sort of like, I like to call him like the glue within our community who holds things together. He's like a mediator, but he's also someone who's not afraid to speak his mind, very, very blunt, very upfront about how he feels about things, and he is a genuinely great person to talk to. And that is my buddy Mungunzu, or better known as Flipping the Switch, here on YouTube, and Happy Wanderer on Twitter. But he's a really, really, really great guy. I remember when I found him on Twitter last year, I think we like got into like some argument about Zelda, because he has very, very interesting opinions about the Zelda series. Very valid though, if you like hear him out, hear what he has to say about it. A lot of his takes make sense. But when I first heard what he had to say about like Aonuma and Wind Waker and Twilight Princess were not good for the series, I was like, who the heck is this guy? What does he mean? And then I started to talk with him more on social media, and then I joined his channel a few times to do his it's called a Liquored Up Live. It's a fun little thing we do sometimes, and he's just a genuine, wholesome, great person to talk to. Very, 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 very open-minded guy. Like, you can talk to him about anything interesting, and he's all ears. He will like listen to you. He will reciprocate. He will have a conversation, and he will hear you out, and he will like, it'll just be a very good back and forth. It's always a great time getting on his channel, chatting with him about like the Xenoblade series, about Nintendo, about physical gaming, the future of video games, cooking, Indian food, traveling, mythology, religion, psychology, anything like that. It's so much fun to chat with this guy. Shout outs to you, Zoo. Keep it going. I know things are changing on the channel, but like, keep up what you do. I really enjoy what you're doing. So yeah, thanks for like keeping our community together. So 2 more channels I want to talk about. These are a little more bigger channels. They're specifically podcast channels. I want to shout out the jrpg Pursuit, and this was like such a awesome announcement when I found this out, that like Brandon and Emily from Just the Gems and Orbology, respectfully, are teaming up, and this new guy, Abdallah, is joining them as well. And I was like, what? This is like the coolest thing ever. Some of the coolest like people in the JRPG community coming together to do their own podcast. You guys have amazing chemistry, amazing like discussions about JRPGs, collecting, the games, the style of video games in general, and like, I love hearing what you guys have to say. You guys have some really good game recommendations as well. So I've like noted down some games I wanted to play like based off of what you guys had to say. And yeah, keep it up. Especially Abdallah, like I wanna see more of your content. I wanna hear your detailed Xenogears thoughts. Brandon and Emily, I remember them from like 2022, early 2023, and it's been great to see their channel grow, and it's really wholesome and awesome to see this like new podcast channel is doing really well. So kudos to you guys. You guys helped me get through some long work days, and it's always good to hear you guys chat about anything in general. And one final shout out. I know this section is getting very long, and I want to shout out the very big, like very prominent video game YouTube channel, Resonant Arc. And I said before, like, Resonant Arc was part of the inspiration for Conduit Cast, and they have been like a channel that actually I've been listening to and watching on and off since 2019. But this year I just binged so many of Mike and Kaysen's podcasts, and I got to learn a lot more about them. But in terms of this year, that Xenogears podcast was a very great companion to the already amazing game, but during a very like tough time in my life. It was a very tough like summer leading into the fall. Like I said, of course, like September onwards things were good, but July and August was still a little tough. But playing Xenogears, understanding Xenogears, appreciating Xenogears, and having that podcast there as well, hearing what they had to say, like I would always like play a session, go back and listen to the podcast to kind of synthesize what I had experienced. One thing is I've been watching a lot of their like recent uploads, and it's been really great to learn more about Mike and Kaysen outside of YouTube. And I just want to, like, they're probably never going to see this video or anything, but like, I just want them to know that they are incredibly inspirational because the stories they tell, the experiences that they talk about and reminisce on and reflect on, and especially their real life experiences is like what they talk about, like what their life was like when they were my age and growing up and like working their first couple of jobs, getting settled into their careers and balancing that with media and YouTube and content creation. I related to a lot of that, and whenever I would hear those stories and stuff, in the back of my head I'm like, I can this stuff I'm doing right now, it can work out in the future. If they can do it, I can do it as well. So yeah, I hope I explained that properly. But to Mike and Kaysen, thank you so much for being an inspiration to me and the channel and like in other aspects of my life. Yeah, thank you so much. Anyways, I've teased you guys way too much on this. Here is the big announcement. You guys might be wondering, Nishquik, why are you wearing this like puffy hoodie? It's actually my Wind Waker Link hoodie, which I got from the Nintendo store. But there is a little bit of story I want to tell to you guys. So long time viewers of the channel or followers on Twitter might know that there was I think Halloween 2022, we had like a work party in my office, and I went in this hoodie with like white pants, and I was like, yeah, I'm Link. And then I took in this Monado as well. So I kind of combined two video game fandoms. The pictures are there, I'll show you guys a little bit later. So I thought that was pretty cool that I did that. And that was like my profile picture on Twitter for a very long time. And when I hit 1K subscribers last year, I wanted to make a channel avatar based off of this like attire, like me, Nishquik Pops, in the Link tunic, wielding the Monado. And actually someone like started doing that last year, and they made a little bit of decent progress, but then it just kind of fell off. And that design was based off of this like Nishquik in Link's attire wielding the Monado, but it was, instead of like the Wind Waker tunic or Ocarina of Time tunic, It was Tears of the Kingdom Link with Hylian Hood, which I liked a little bit better. But ever since then, I had that idea in my mind. I was like, this is what I would sort of be looking for a channel avatar, which I can have on all socials and everything. And then I was always keeping my eyes open for a good artist who would capture my essence and my personality and like visually, like in all sorts of ways. And not only that, but like a good art style that resonates with just Nishquik pops in general with the content that I make. And I found that person this year. As of the recording of this video, the avatar should be complete. And in the editing process, I will put it here, but here it is. This is it. This is the new face of Nishquik Pop. So this is me wearing the Hylian hood, but it is in the style of, you can probably tell it's in the style of Xenogears. So shout outs to Lynn, Lynn on Twitter, Blue Sky, YouTube as well. You guys might remember her if you guys watched my Xenogears Perfect Works tutorial. She's the one who contributed to the Xenogears community with the Perfect Artworks portrait replacements. But she's also an artist who does commissions. You can commission her on Ko-fi. She does chibi art, but she recently started doing Xenogears portrait art. And when I saw that first picture, like I think she did the Xenogears character Latina from like the Kislev prison, and she like was promoting her commissions through that. I was like, in the future, I'm going to highly consider this for like a channel avatar. And I'm really, really, really happy with how this turned out, because not only does it capture like how I look and all that, and it's just got the look I wanted with the Hylian hood and everything just looks amazing, but it's in the style of Xenogears. Like, you guys know how special the Xeno series is to me, and you guys know how special Xenogears was for me this year. So to have that like commemorated in like an art form as like a representation for the channel in the future, I'm so thankful and I'm so appreciative of that. So big shout out and big wholeheartedly thank you to Lynn for making this. If you guys want something like this, like your own Xenogears portrait, or if you want like your own like chibi art of whatever character you want, definitely check out our Ko-fi. I'll have that linked in the description below. And of course, like if you ever play Xenogears on RetroArch, use her Perfect Artworks texture replacements. And this is a big change for the channel. But the channel logo here on YouTube and on Instagram has been that NP spiky symbol for a very long time now. And I think it's high time to update that and change that. So this is the new face of Nishquik Pops on YouTube, on Twitter, on Blue Sky, on Instagram, on Twitch, on Discord, everywhere. This is the updated look, and I'm very happy with how it turned out, and I hope you guys like this as well. So yeah, that's 2024. It's been a great year for the channel. Very thankful for all that I've done and all that I've done with you guys. And yeah, thank you all so very much for all the amazing memories and all that I've learned throughout my experiences with doing content. And I hope you all have a very safe and joyous and happy holidays, and also happy new year. We had a very fruitful 2024, great games, great memories, great lessons learned along the way, and here's to a great 2025. And this is Nishquik signing off. Have a great New Year's and great day. Go play some great games today, like any game to just cap off the new year, and I will see you guys in the new year in the next video. later. Hey guys, this is Nishquik. Thank you so much for watching that video. And if you enjoyed it, check out these 2 videos on the left and maybe subscribe if you haven't on your way out. And big shout out to all my channel members whose names you can see on the screen right now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.